Welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk to you about this notion that a lot of people have, that you're imposed who you are and then you have to figure out who you are and all those different things, because when you come in, people give you a name, they give you a personality, your parent expects certain things from you, they can impose on you a career path or some things like that. So I thought maybe I would offer some of the, wisdom from the Bamileke Tradition, or perspective from the Bamileke Tradition. And this perspective, I think you can see it in other African traditions. And of course, if you are from different African countries, please let us know if this is the same in your own tradition or if it's different and what's different about it. So I did another video explaining that in my own tradition, we only had traditionally we only had one name, which is our village name, and that name is the most important name because no matter if you get married or anything happened to you, when you go to the village, that's the name they will call you. So you see, in the Western way of doing things, most women, when you get married, you take on your husband's name, okay? And in our tradition, even if you go and you take on your husband's name, when you get home, you go to the village, they will call you by your village name. So your village name does not change because you get married. However, it can change if you acquire certain titles, if you acquire a certain position. And I will get to that when I talk to you about twins, traditions of twins in my own tradition. So, your village name. How do you acquire your village name? The first thing for us is that the babies you do not just pick a name just because you feel like it, because you like a name or something like that. Not the village name at the very least. You could pick any first name, 3, 4, 5, how many you want, but the village name is the child who announces its name. It's the child who tells you, this is my name, this is who I'm coming back as, this is the energy I'm coming back with. So it's very intricate because this notion that when you come to the world, your parents give you a name, and that's the name you carry. And each name has its own frequency, its own vibration, and that means it will influence your own path. And that's why I always tell you, if you have a name, before you change your name or anything like that, you need to know what qualities, what power comes with that name. Because I know it's been a trend for a few years now for a lot of people to say, you have a European name, just change that name, you have this and that, this name is not good for you, whatever. It is very, very important that you understand that no matter what the name that you have, the first names, last name, whatever, no matter what they are, before you change them, you really need to understand what is their vibration and their frequency. Because it's not a coincidence that you had this name, no matter how you acquired them. If your parents, had a dear friend that had this name, or if they look at it online and they find that this name was cute, it was a trending name of their time, their decade, or whatever, go and find out what is the meaning of that name. Find out what is the vibration of that name. It's so, so important, because if you just decide to change that name, first of all, I'm not going to go too much into that because that was not the object of the video, but I did make a different video talking about the importance of your names. Don't be just fooled about people telling you to just change your name. Especially if you don't even know what your name means, if you don't even know the frequency or the vibration of your name. Okay, just be very careful about that. So in our tradition, you don't choose your baby's name. Your baby will tell you the name. The baby announces itself, herself, herself or himself before they're born. So this is why you can usually, the mother will have the dream. She will dream about the baby, or she will dream about an ancestor telling them the name. She will dream. The name can come in many kinds of ways, telling her who this baby is. Sometimes it could even be the way that she finds out she's pregnant, because she has this dream of this ancestor telling her they're coming back. It could come in different form, and all of the ways and form of the announcement is particular to the mother. So it's going to be made in a way that you as a mother will understand what it means. So you may, I cannot say it will come in this kind of way. It will depend on you. But it will always be in a way that you are able to understand if you listen to yourself, if you listen, you pay attention to your dreams, you pay attention to the signs that are there. So that's one way, and that's the most frequent way, the easiest way you will say that's available to any woman that's trying to conceive or that is already pregnant and you don't know who this child is. You may want to pay attention to your dreams, to ask yourself or ask the child, who are you? Let me know who you are so I can better guide you, help you, support you in all of these different ways. And then be open to all of the signs that can come to tell you who this baby really is. Another way to know who this baby is through divination. In the tradition, usually when you wanted to conceive, you will look at what is the best time for you to be conceiving a child, to have the best essence, the best energies around the child. And who will that child be? What kind of child will it be? So you see here that there's two kind of things where you are going to do divination to a seer or a wisdom keeper. It depends on whatever tradition you're at. A psychic, a medium, whatever position they're doing. It's basically somebody who can go in the spirit world and see that for you, and they will tell you who the child is, and then with that information you prepare yourself on how to welcome the child and everything else. And I thought it was important to underline this, because if you are able to receive these messages through dreams, through different signs that are pointing you to who this baby is, then you are better prepared to face whatever challenges may come with the baby during the pregnancy or afterwards, or even in that child's adulthood. And it will prepare you to be resilient, resilient enough to guide that child. And so also it will erase this notion for this child to say that the name that you have, it was imposed on you. The path that you chose, that we're giving you, was imposed, and we're forcing you to march on this path. Sometimes the information can be so detailed and so clear that the child, it may be said that the child is here to, unite clans, unite tribes, unite the world even, in some shape or form. And so that will push you also to really pay attention to what the child most ways of expression, or most expressive ways to look at them, and to not curtail this child as much by telling him, no, you can't express yourself through art because it will lead to nothing, or placing on your own particular judgment on the child. It pushes you to be a lot more flexible. And usually when you have that name, the grandparents are the pivotal part of this process, because they have already so much lived experience. They're a lot more detached from the outcome, because this is their grandchild. They are more open to seeing where it could go with the wealth of wisdom that they do have to guide the child and to guide the parent of the child, and also because they've already gone through that process. So it is in a way an avenue where generations come together. You as a parent, your parents, the grandparents of the child to be, or the child that's just been born, coming together to form the basic unit that will accompany the child. And of course you will add the uncle, the aunt, and the extended family, the whole community that will be there. And then you can see there are children that come, let's say, that are born in Africa, and then let's say the child needs to go to America as part of their own development process path. And you will see the entire community will rally to make sure the resources are given to that child so that they can go and study in the US, or study abroad, basically. And I think this is something, when you come to the world and as a child, instead of them telling you, okay, this is your name, and you learn, and you teaching you how to write the name, they will tell you this is the name that you put forth when you came to this world. So that you can understand that this is not something that's being imposed on you, so you can understand that this is something that came with you. And also you will be better equipped to remember some of the things that you're supposed to do, or to have a better ease of knowing and remembering the things that you come to do. And this is very important to stress that, because some of the children, they're not going to be going around aimlessly, especially if they're reminded of the mission that they spoke of, that they announced before they came. And that could be the stairway to say, okay, this is the mission. And sometimes in some African traditions, this mission is put in a song, and that song is sang to the child as a reminder. So that means when there's time of turmoil, of pain, of hurt, or of sadness, or even of joy, we sing that song over and over to the child. And that is a great reminder for the child. So the child knows that whatever pain, sadness, or whatever else is just temporary. Whatever you're going through is temporary, and there's a bigger picture with your mission in it. And that's kind of a deep blessing, because it means that instead of being out here searching for your purpose, you already came with the purpose. You were able to announce the purpose. So this is why also you have to understand how colonization was so disruptive, because it pushed people to be scared of their own traditions, to be scared of their own ways. So now, instead of going to, let's say if you cannot remember your dreams or whatever else, instead of going to the seer to have that information, you become scared of the seer. And also, please understand that somebody that sees in the spirit world is seeing certain things. Sometimes what they're seeing, they're interpreting based on their own experience, based on the different experience that they had with readings with different clients and stuff like that. So it's not because they're saying this that it's set in stone. Most of the time you have some flexibility in terms of how long it may take to reach that accomplishment, or to develop their purpose and to become fully aware of their purpose. It doesn't mean that because the seer is telling you everything is set in stone and everything is already traced. It only gives you a direction. It only gives you most of the time a general idea, because after all, you don't want your whole life being mapped out for you, that you know everything that's going to happen to you. They give you the biggest line, and then the child herself or himself will go through the different things that they need to go through in between those little lines, and write their own story as they move along, keeping in mind the destination, the path, the purpose that was theirs to choose. And so that's one ways colonization disrupted that. It made you scared. It made a lot of people scared of their own tradition, of their own cultures. And then so they turn again away from the culture. Now there was another way that I told you that everyone has available is through your dreams, which is a simple way. For us, is one of the ways that's most underlined and pushed, because this is accessible to everyone. You can have dreams and have the information through your dreams. Now, if you don't remember your dreams and you don't have time and things like that, that you feel like you don't know your dreams, don't remember some people even say that they don't dream, which is probably not the case. First, look at your lifestyle. Your sleeping pattern, where you sleep also could be disruptive. So look at your space, the energy of your space, if there's any interference, for you to remember the dreams and be able to get that knowledge into your active life so you can use it in your active life. It's very important that you look at that. We can also underline that talking about the baby announcing themselves, is important that the mother who's pregnant, who's about to conceive, benefit from the most rest that she can get. Because if you cannot sleep, because sometimes you have body aches, you have all kinds of things, but if on top of that you have financial issues in your head, that you don't know where your next meal is going to come from, how you're going to care for the baby and things like that, those are things that needs to be addressed. Preferably address that before you conceive. That means prepare yourself to the phase of conception, prepare yourself to the pregnancy, so you know where you will be, who will be around you, and you choose the best environment that's available to you. So you choose the best partner that's going to be helping you to conceive, helping you during the pregnancy. You choose the friends that are going to be there helping you as well, giving a hand, helping you if you're feeling aches, massages, things like that you can call on if you're feeling moody and things like that. The community that's going to be around you. And this may require that you move. Pregnancy was not meant for you to be just you and your husband going through pregnancy. It was never meant like that because it puts a lot of pressure, and I think people do not understand and oftentimes underestimate the pressure that a pregnancy put on two people when it was supposed to be a community thing. You were supposed to have your mother, or at the very least your mother, close to you, next to you. So both grandparents sometimes want to get involved. You have your sisters, if you have sisters, siblings, your cousins, if you don't have siblings, or if you do, you add them on, and of course your friends. And this is something that you should never neglect. If let's say your family is abusive, or you have different dysfunctional family, choose your friends, the people who are around you, your friends, and try to see with your friends how each of them can contribute to help you, give you an environment, a cocoon where you can fully be restful, where you can fully be letting go, have the most openness that you can have in terms of spiritually, where you can you won't have any type of impose artificial unnecessary anxiety or unnecessary worriness, where you can really rest and be open to the message that this baby can give you. And of course, it's not a requirement that you are in the ideal best family, best everything there for you to get this message. You can still get these messages even though the context is not fully perfect. Okay, the most important is that you are open to knowing who this baby is and that you communicate with this baby. And you don't need to be screaming or telling other people. It can be as simple as you just sitting quietly and having this inner dialogue with the baby. The baby is inside of you, and then so you can tell the baby how happy you are to be pregnant, no matter the circumstances, how happy you are that baby chose you as their mom, and that you want to be able to help this baby the best you can. So the baby, you basically ask the baby to give you as much information as is needed for you to be prepared and to fully take care of them. And it's important that you be willing and ready to take the responsibility of that child. Take the responsibility of saying, I'm going to be the mother of that child. And through you taking that responsibility, there will be some blessing that will come just because you accepted that responsibility. And there will be, of course, opportunities for you to assert the responsibility. So things to do. So it's not just enough that you say you want to take on the responsibility. It's also required that you actually do, that you actually rise to the occasion. One of that would be, taking care of what you're eating, eating healthy and things like that to make sure that the baby, the body of the baby develops very well. Being open spiritually, having maybe a routine where you frequently have a set time or set moment where you talk to the baby, and as the baby grows, that you communicate with him, and that you will see throughout time when you're doing this, that the baby, as the baby is developing within you and become more responsive to even your touches, your dialogue can become also physical, where you press somewhere and the baby press twice or something like that to have a physical communication with the baby. It's not everyone that managed to get to that stage, but if you start and you try, especially you want to have many children, you can improve on that knowledge as you have the additional children. With each child, you can improve on that knowledge and on that communication. So the first source is you. The information can come directly to you and tell you, this is my name, and then you can see what the baby name is. In my video in terms of pregnancy as an initiation, I said that my first son, I saw him in a dream and he gave me his full name. And some of the names, his village name, was there. His title was there because it helped me know in what position it is, not just onto me, but within our family. And then these first names he gave me as well. And the first name people will say European name, and they're only saying European name because they are because they do not know the history of Europe. the true history of Europe, and that we'll talk about that in a different videos. So the most important, if you're thinking about conceiving, if you have a family member, a friend that thinking about having a baby or who's pregnant, that you encourage them to talk to their child. You encourage them to ask the question, who is this baby? Or if this is your niece, you can also ask the baby to tell you who she is or who he is. And it's sometimes you will see you have a child, the mom is completely closed off because maybe you are super religious and the child is not there for that. It didn't come to be part of your religion. And so that child, even though he chose her as a mom, will have some type of a restricted outlet. He will get the training that the religious structure will provide, but he will see probably an uncle or an aunt that is more open, and that is the person that will be able to give him the guidance that's needed. So I hope this was useful. If you do have similar things in your own tradition or your own culture, please do share as well as your question, and I'll see you in the next video.